everyone? Welcome back to JP's Budget Collecting. My camera got a little pushed to the side. And our weekly cash or trash, or mostly weekly. We don't miss too many of these. We do occasionally miss a few of these because I'm reacting to what other people are putting out that week. This is a show where we look at this week's hot comics, and I make predictions sure to go wrong for what's going to happen in the coming months with these books. Whether or not there's something you should chase right now or be patient. And if you know me and have watched any of these videos, it's be patient. But we go through them every week anyway. We have a little fun. We get Unruly, who was in here tailgating saying meh a lot about the books. We got to fight the good fight. What is going on? Lithograph, what is happening? Yes, I hope everyone's having a fine Sunday. Dre, what is happening, my friend? Deep House is also in the house. Dumpster fires abound. Well, pretty good chance of that. Black Swan, what's going on, Jack? Burklar, what is up? What is up? And my man Perry is in the house. He's lurking. So I'm sure he's got chess or something he's going to be doing later. So Darth Lopez, what is going on? Saying there's a couple of good worth of books in his opinion. I think let's see. We'll see. A reminder on that note is before we get it. Well, I'll do the reminder when we get into this. But if I say something's an I'll be back or a trap, it has to do with the current value, not necessarily if it's a good book or not. I get a lot of comments about you're missing out when I call something a trap or everything else. You're missing out. The book's good and stuff. And it's not that I'm not talking about the content. I'm talking about the market situation. So, but yeah, lurking. I could have done without that visual. I could have done without that visual. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. I had to have my, put that up last week. The Batgirl stuff. This will probably be after today. We'll probably swap it out for something else before we go any further, but yeah. All right. With that, I'm going to give one quick caveat. I have not done this yet. I feel weird doing it, but I was nominated for a comic book community awards, the CBC awards. So I guess I'll ask you guys I put the link in the description. I didn't do it yesterday as part of the look back. For being Spec Channel, I kind of feel weird even asking for votes. So don't go vote for me. Just go vote for the people you like. That's what we're going to do. Go vote for folks. It's a cool thing that they're doing, that people have come together to kind of give awards to people on YouTube that do good content that people appreciate. The fact that I got nominated both stuns and makes me very happy. I'm honored. Don't need to go vote for me. But if you enjoy this stuff, at least go check out and vote for some other folks. So there you go. Wait. Disco is in the house. I have missed JB. I missed his stream last night. I haven't actually caught him for a while. I missed JB being a constant part of this community. So good morning to you, sir. I am glad to see you hanging out. Sam, I am. What is going on? So yeah. So I don't know about, well, maybe. I don't know. Probably not good waves. So a quick reminder here of what we're doing. Like I said, Saturdays, I do the look back. We look back at 6 months later of what books have done. Today, Sunday, is all about looking at this week's hot comics from the CBSI Hot Top 10 and the Comic Tom Key Collector Hottest Trending and the Comics of the Week. And we make predictions sure to go wrong. I tell you what I think. It's funny. I usually get the comments are usually about you're too negative, and here lately if I have missed, it's because I'm too positive. So that's just the way 2022 has went. So we're hopefully not. Hopefully everybody's voting for the people that they appreciate and enjoy on that. So, all right. So yeah, what do? We throw them into categories that we think we go with our streak ass. How many books I think are going to continue to climb over the next 6 months. A reminder: there's a difference between 6 months and long term, and I try to usually point that out as I'm talking about the books. Books I think are worth it. They're right there. This is pretty close to the value they should be. But if you buy them now, you're not really going to be like hurting that you overpaid. These books are definitely going to be around this value or even slightly better when in 6 months' time. We got our I'll Be Backs. kind of the opposite side of that coin. These books are probably gonna, if you're patient, you can probably find a deal, do a little better. We got our It's a Trap. These are books that are going to drop 30, 40, 50%. And we get a lot of these. If you watch yesterday's video, there was a ton of these in that video. This is very common. News happens. Books hit the list. They fall right back to where they used to be. This is very common. And then occasionally we'll throw in a come on man of what are we thinking? And finally a dumpster fire. And we usually have 1 to 2 of these every week that drop 70, 80% in value. It just happens. So yeah. So let's see. We got I can completely understand, John. I completely understand. You gotta do what you gotta do, my friend. But thank you for stopping by at least for a minute. So Matt, what's going on? I hope all is well as you. Everything is well here. I hope all is well with you, my friend. All right, so let's get into these books. We're going to start with one of those books I think people are saying is a pretty good book. This is Conan the Barbarian, number 23, first appearance of Red Sonja. We got news this week that they have cast Sonja. Now, mind you, about a year and a half ago, maybe a year or so ago, we got news that they had cast Sonja for the upcoming Red Sonja movie. And about 4 or 5 years before that, we got news that they had cast Red Sonja for a Red Sonja movie. We will see. So far, none of these have been made. Really, a straight cast forever. Always a key. Always. So in general, long term, yes. But we're talking about 6 months. This was interesting. I kind of looked around, like it was on both lists, which is interesting because CBSI talked about very fine raw copies going for around 150. Tom talked about average sales around 345. I kind of looked and really, yeah, it's kind of a 150, 340, 350-ish range on raw sales, which is pretty wide range based on, of course, condition. 9.8 hit 4,500. But generally, even on books like this, and especially a book that really don't trust that we're going to get a movie or a good movie anytime soon, it's still probably an I'll be back. Why? Because news and buzz get people to think about it, they get to buy it, and then things cool off. Long term, this is obviously straight gas. This book is only probably going to trend up long term. So if you buy it right now and then in 6 months it's a little bit less, are you going to really regret it? Probably not. You're probably fine with worth it if you're holding it long term. But usually just avoiding the news is a good idea. So for this 6 month period, I call this an I'll be back just because you get news about stuff. Yeah. Undervalued at a 9.8. Don't say things like that. This is one I wouldn't mind having. So not that I'll ever have a 9.8. Not at that price. But yeah. And this is why. Who knows if these are ever going to get off the ground? They've tried and tried and tried. They've been trying to make a Red Sonja movie for a decade. They did finally make a Conan movie that nobody watched with Jason Momoa. But yeah, they've been trying to make a Red Sonja project for forever. We'll see if it ever amounts to anything. So yeah, so my prediction for this is an I'll be back that you could probably do a little better in 6 months. Not crazy better, but a little better. If you're patient and you can find a deal. Next, Trespasser number 1, because it got optioned by Endeavor Content. I don't even know who Endeavor Content is, I'll be honest. And there is a director attached. So this is interesting, value-wise. Tom put this as $5 average, $75 high sale. And I was like, wait, what? So basically, when the news came out, there were several sales, 5, 10, 15, in that lower end. And then by the mid to late in the week, it was jumping up 25-ish. You were getting some $25 sales. And then the last 2 sales, when I did this yesterday after the video, were at 75 and 35. My guess is there's probably, so that 75 was way high. And then there was a $35 sale. So kind of just give you an idea of where this at. But yeah, this is. And what I mean by that, so if you're getting it on the $5, $15 side of things, you're probably okay. It's probably an I'll be back. But if you're paying $35 or more for this is a book that's never had any buzz. It's only a 4-issue miniseries. Good luck seeing if we'll ever get it. Yeah, it's a trap on that higher end for sure. Yeah. The Eternals, the Red Sonja, there's a chance of that. The short term, a chance of it would drop. Yeah. Yeah. That's crazy. So yeah, it's absolutely a trap at anything more than like $10. Sorry, it is. All right. Next, we're going to go off the wall a little bit and outside of my comfort zone for making predictions. We got Sandman, the Omnibus, Volume 1. So basically, average sales around $225 for this omnibus from back in 2013, the first time they did an Omni. Sealed Omnis have been going for 400 plus, which actually for hard to find Omnis is not that particularly high. Obviously, there's a ton of buzz right now about Sandman and with the show and everything else. And yeah, the last one is definitely a bear trap. But, and I know this much about the Omni market because I've really never looked into it that much. So everything I'm saying with the caveat on that front, to me, this is an I'll be back also, but I could see it like as you get older Omnis that are hard to find, that are from series that people love, tend to just keep increasing in prices. Yeah, until they reprint it. And then sometimes the volume, if you have a true first print of the original release, they continue to hold some value. It just depends on how many are on the market at any given time. So I put this as an I'll be back because my guess is if the show's successful, we're going to get a re-release. And I'm not sure they're actually that hard to find even right now. So put this as an I'll be back for sure. Yeah. And I can see that. Potentially. And that's always the thing is what is it that people are going to be after when it comes to collected series and how many people are really going to have the Omni because you can get this a bunch of different ways. There's absolute editions, there's deluxe editions, there's just the regular trades, there's 25th anniversary trades, there's so many different reprints of this that how much of these Omnis truly going to hold, I don't know. So I'll admit that's a complete guess and I'll be back, but that's where I'm at. Next, we are so dumb. Batman number 423, 2022, the gold foil reprint for Fan Expo Canada is going for $100 to $150. You can get the original for that or less. So yeah, you're going for more than the original McFarlane cover. This is so silly to me. These gold foil, like DC does a ton of these gold foil things for cons. Like they just reprint, would put a gold foil cover on it. Think about they did that a few years ago for Batman or Detective Comics 880. They've done it a bunch of times. They almost never hold high value, and they certainly are never more valuable than the original book. This is a trap, in my opinion. I get it. It's a classic con book. Not as in a con, but as in, and that people are like, oh, it's going to be hard to get. And then 6 months from now, people were not, I don't think it'll be anywhere near this. I love gold. I'll be honest. Beckerman's like, yeah, these are hideous. I'll be honest. I'm not a huge fan of this particular. People love this McFarlane cover. I could probably get labeled as a McFarlane hater. I think it's okay. I don't think it's that great. The cape kind of looks weird to me. I don't know. Like no cape would do that. I don't know. It just looks. Yeah. A little bit of a come on, man. These gold foils have never performed well. There is no history of these DC gold foil con exclusives performing well. Yeah. Yeah. He does almost have to have 3 arms for the cape to be doing kind of what it's doing. Earth sounds spending money on these. Yeah. Definitely a trap, in my opinion, for sure, on this one. Next, Detective Comics, number 1063, the Yoshitaka Amano, 1 in 25. So this is somebody, Final Fantasy designer, did this cover. So 1 in 25, going for 40 to 50, which means it's a I'll be back borderline trap. If it's not even going over double ratio, which means at best it's probably going to settle between double, it's going to settle down toward ratio. Unless we get a second week jump on this, it's kind of a cool, different cover, but this is barely hot for a ratio. I mean, barely hot. And we'll get into that in a minute, because one of the lists you would talk about that there just wasn't much hot this week. I appreciate that, Mojo. That is very kind of you. It is kind of gorgeous. I will freely admit it, but it's not enough buzz. It's not going for enough early on to sustain it. And yeah, I mean, just following the ratio rules, this is going to be a down around ratio, if not below. If it goes all the way down to ratio, then it's a trap. I put it as an I'll be back in my on my list. This may be one where I'm being too kind and not being harsh enough, for sure, because these 1 in 25s, if they don't go any higher than this, they just don't sustain almost ever. Now, there could be a week 2 jump that might change the thinking on this, but no, I think this is for sure I'll be back borderline trap. Oh, that's nice. Very nice. Now that's the way to do it. I'd be considering moving it then, unless you just love it. So, next we have Grimm number 4, the Jenny Frizen 1 per store Virgin variant. A reminder that 1 per stores generally are about the same as print run wise as what you're looking at with a 1 in 25. In the ballpark, they usually perform very similar. This one's going for 25-30, which means it's going for about the ratio of a 1 in 25. I am a Jenny Frizen stan. I love Jenny Frizen. This cover is, and it's supposed to be, it's clearly supposed to be. These kids are supposed to be freaky, and I do not like these children on this cover. I will flat say it. They are, and I've been the one person that's kind of been pushing the brakes on Grimm this whole time, and maybe it'll come out that I'm wrong, but this only going for 25-30 on a 1 per store does not give me a lot of confidence that this is going to amount to anything. I would be back on this thing. I would not. This screams $10-15. Which happens a lot with 1 per stores on series that don't necessarily matter, or covers that aren't particularly hot. And yeah, creepy me. Yeah, it's just those. Yeah, I don't even like looking at those children. This might very well be my least favorite prison cover of all time. So there you go. Yeah. Yeah. Right. For sure. Children. Yeah, it is like Children of the Corn going on right here. Next, we got Evanescence, Echoes from the Void, the 1 in 5 video game variant. So we got another band making a comic. Outlook is story, man. JoJo, what is going on? I saw JoJo the other day when I was kind of like lurking in Comic Head 84's chat that she had reappeared. We have missed you, JoJo. Welcome, and thank you for hanging out this morning. Glad to see that you're back, and looking forward to maybe having you start making some videos and stuff again. We have missed JoJo, or I have. I missed her content. So Evanescence is, band comic. These tend to like have a very niche audience. This 1 in 5 is going for 15 to 20, which you're like, oh, triple, quadruple ratio. But yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't looked at a ton of these. I didn't even know they were still a thing. That's the thing. Like, I honestly thought they had broken up. Maybe they did, and are back. I don't know if they got a new album. I don't stay on top of these things. That would be a question for Kavi. But to me, I just don't see this sustaining very well. To me, this is absolutely and I'll be back. It's only, I would say, maybe a trap, but it's only 15 to 20. So yeah, if it's a $10 book, if it's, yeah, for sure. Never in his band, so no, there is, yeah, it's basically, these books are really just for people who love the band and then are also comic book people. And yeah, I just don't necessarily see it. Female Nickelback. Oh man, that is harsh. I'm not gonna say it's wrong, but I'm gonna say it's harsh. All right, next. Speaking of just harsh, we got Maryville, Maryville, #1, the Greg Horn variant, to maybe the widely seen as the worst comic series ever made. And it's really because it's a sexy Greg Horn variant that this is on the list. This book, the contents of this book and this series are absolutely that. Absolutely that. I feel like now there's like this cult following for this dumb thing because it's so bad. But it's not even so bad it's good. It's just so bad. But this #1 is going for $60 plus. Because it's sexy Greg Horn, supposedly MJ, but not really. And yeah. Hey, Blue Collar Dan, what is going on? Hey, the pie face is in the house. What is going on? It's just, I want everything worse, but I want it. I feel like that's the whole driving force behind this book. Is it's so bad people just want to be able, like, yeah, I got that crappy book. Yeah, they do tend to do well. This one has obviously creeped up to $60. I still think this is an I'll be back. I feel like there's a bill. I feel like I see this thing all the time. Like digging in dollar bins and crap. I feel like I see these. Maybe not the #1. Maybe I'm underestimating how much people love hot garbage. But to me, I would not. There's no way I would pay $60+ for this book. There's just no way under any circumstances. I don't care how sexy the cover is. It's so bad. I'm conflicted. Oh, yeah. That is also bad. All right, we're going to move on from that. Next, we got SpiderGwen Gwenverse #5, the last of our covers this week. This is a Peach Momoko 1 in 100, going for exactly ratio. Even CBSI just admitted, like, we had to find something to put on the list because we had trouble finding 10 books that were actually hot. This book is not actually hot. Lizard Brain wants it. It might be, yeah. I like, now Marvel tries to claim it's not her, and I don't know. It's like, it's weird, but it was supposed to be her at the time, and then they decided no because it was so bad, or I don't know. I don't keep up. I just know that series is garbage. So a ratio, a book, a 1 in 100 going for 100 is not a hot book. The Gwenverse is way overpopulated. And it's not a particularly cool cover, in my opinion. It's a design variant of the Captain America version of Gwen, whatever. Hey, Kenneth, what? Oh, Peach and the Noko. What am I looking at? Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just going to go out and say it. A 1 in 100 that doesn't, like, even get past, like, 150 is going to end up below $50. It just is. This is a trap. Absolutely. There's no indication this is going to perform well. These do not. It's not hot. Going for ratio is not hot on 1 in 100. I don't care if it's going for 100 right now. Yeah. I mean, she's still, for me, she's still just super hit or miss. And she always has been. Like some of her stuff, I saw one the other day that I thought was really, really well done. And then there's stuff like this. So, I mean, I think those are the only books right now that are really getting a lot of consistent love because things are just, yeah. All right. Gigi, what is going on? Yeah. All right. Next. I don't think there's a whole lot to say about that one. All right. You guys were waiting for this, I bet. I put it in the middle. So this is... We are back to Bad Idea. Which we should just... Whenever I bring up Bad Idea, I should just put this up here. I mean, I should just put this up here or this. I mean, come on. We are paying $25 on average. That's the average. 20 to 30 bucks for a 600 page, 800 page previews. I don't know how many pages are in this particular one. Catalog, because Bad Idea that doesn't even sell their books for previews put a comic in it, a short comic in it, and people are paying money for this crap. I don't care if the story's good or not. This has nothing to do with like the collectability long term. None of these Bad Idea things have had collectability long term. I know I've taken some flack because I always rip on Bad Idea. And from people are like, the stories are actually good. Somebody tell Bad Idea that. Because they don't sell stories. They sell gimmicks. They're not even trying to like push their stories, push their comics, push their writers. They just like, oh, let's crank something out that maybe could be good, could be great. But then let's do something stupid with it to draw attention so it's collectible, but people don't read it. People don't want to know what's going on. Like, you can't, yes, people have lost their minds. This is the dumbest of the dumb in terms of, I'm going to try to collect a previews. You think people are really going to care? You're collecting a phone book. You're throwing a phone book in your box to collect this thing. Yeah. There's super high print. Yeah. Just new I mean that and the donuts and only you can prevent. It's a phone book. I mean, yeah. And this is Mojo, and this is what I get pointed out. Their stories are pretty solid. They just don't push their stories. It was one idea to do these gimmicky stuff every so often in order to like draw attention to the company and then push a good story. And then, draw people to a book and then push the book. But usually you never hear from the title, the book ever again. There's no continuation. They're one-offs. They're these offbeat things. And then it's so dumb. And they have no staying power. None of the Bad Idea books outside of the very first one, that Hero Action thing, and I haven't looked at it for a long time, have had any staying power. They've all been, when you come back in 6 months, traps to dumpster fires. And this is the same thing. There's no way this is $25 in 6 months. Hey, Steven, what's going on? Versus me, yeah. Anthony, I don't think I said hello to Anthony yet. What's going on? Terry is in the house. You can call someone who cares. There you go. All right, I'm done ranting about Bad Idea. I'm just done with Bad Idea. Go away. Next, we're into more comic buzz than previous comic buzz. Black Cat Annual #1, the first appearance of the Tiger Division, because we got news that the Tiger Division is getting their own team book in November or December. I didn't write down which month, but it's coming. It's causing this to jump up to 15 to 20, 9.8 hitting 100. This is on both lists. Here's the thing. This is the first team up of the Tiger Division, but none of the characters' first appearance is here. Unless I tried to double check that. I wanted to make sure if somebody knows if there's one of them that is in here, I missed. But like everything I could find is this is just the team up, no first appearances, which does not bode well for this book. To me, this is absolutely an I'll be back. Think about, we just had like some stuff with like Iron Fist thing. To me, this is very similar than the new Iron Fist. You're getting a team coming together. Like, I just don't see this. Yeah. I mean, it's only 15 to 20, but I don't know that it really sustains that kind of value. That's what I could find out, but I don't own the book. So I was like trying to find out lithograph, and that's everything indicated it was. Young Gun's book with the Young Avengers first appearance is going up in value then. Who knows? Trap Cat. Yeah. It's definitely, if it was more than 15-20, I would definitely call it a trap, which technically 15-20 could be a trap if it drops down to 5. But my guess is it'll stay like a $10 book, 10 to 15. So I'll call it and I'll be back. But all right, next. Star Wars, The High Republic Adventures, #8. This is one I hadn't really heard people talk about. This is the first appearance of Sav Malagan, something like that. One of the Jedi. So if you haven't been following High Republic, if you're a Star Wars fan, you should, because it's my favorite Star Wars thing that's been done in a long time. I really enjoyed High Republic a ton. But basically what happened is they did a phase 1 that was set like 150, 200 years pre Skywalker saga. And now they're jumping at the end of phase 1, they're jumping back. Phase 2, which starts in October, is jumping back another 150 years. So there's a couple of the older Jedis that are species that have long lives that appeared in phase 1 that are going to have their own kind of series. This is one of the characters. She's getting a mini series in this phase of the High Republic, which has caused this book to jump all the way to $10. I'll take the nap for really on this one. There you go. I'm probably spending too much time on it. It's $10. It's probably, I put this as worth it at $10 because generally these books have been kind of, once people have recognized the key, these High Republic stuff have stayed about $10. If this was like a 15-20, I'd call this an I'll be back. Because it's 10, you almost can't buy anything for 10, less than 10 if you factor in shipping on eBay or anywhere else. So I put this as worth it at 10, but yeah, it's not because I'm super high that this is gonna like. It's not. It's Sav, S-A-V, Malagan, M-A-L-A-G-A-N. So yeah, it's not Saab, but yeah. I know. We're unreleased, wanting to take a nap during the Star Wars. Only Star Wars book this week, and only because it's $10, so I put it as worth it. If it was 15-20, like I said, it would be an I'll be back. So. Which has been kind of the pattern is with the other Star Wars High Republic books, they've jumped up a little higher, but they've all kind of settled as we moved away from the first phase, and we're not getting a lot of those characters again, down to like $10, $15 books. So, I don't think so because High Republic is kind of its own entity, so there's none of those other characters that were in those old Dark Horse books that are really being affected. These are just all new characters and stuff for the most part. So, this is true. This is true. All right, we'll get off of Star Wars for Unruly. Next up, we got Batman 609, first appearance of Hush, up to $40 for a raw copy on average, 9.8 hit 230. This came on the news that despite the fact that Warner Brothers Discovery is canceling everything DC, they decide, even the Matt Reeves Batman animated series that he's involved with Bruce Timm. They didn't cancel, but they're trying to sell it to somebody else. Still decided to offer Matt Reeves a contract and have him work on Batman 2, the Batman 2 or whatever. And people have been hyping that we're going to get Hush. It really felt a lot like it's a very similar storyline to what we just got in the first one with the Riddler. But so we'll see if we do go down the Hush road. But everyone's speculating on that because that was the rumors originally, and now we know Matt Reeves is going to get to keep going. Here's the thing: do we even trust Warner Brothers and WB? Like, this thing can be made and in the can, and do we trust it will ever come out? But yeah, they're nothing says trust them at this point. I'm really saying worth it. Nice. If it's a newsstand, that's very nice. Worth it. I do think Hush is a character that, like, it's probably slightly undervalued, but I don't know that this rumor changes things. And here's the thing: he's just started working on this. We are probably 24 at the earliest of getting this movie. So to me, people are going to forget about this. This isn't I'll be back because of that. Do I think long term that it's probably, a safe bet, worth it to maybe not straight cast, but definitely worth it? Yeah. I mean, it's got this gorgeous Jim Lee cover. It's a good villain, first appearance of a good villain for Batman. But I just think avoid news. Always avoid news. Always just be patient and come back to it. So yeah. I couldn't think less of trusting that guy at this point based on his decisions, but who knows? He is snapping movies out of existence. He's trying to be the Thanos of the DC universe for sure. Yeah. So yeah, 6 months versus long term. I would say this is an I'll be back. Longer term, it's probably worth it to maybe, I don't know if it's straight cast. I think really long term to be straight cast, but probably worth it longer term. But 6 months, it's an I'll be back. I'm glad I have one in the box over there that's in my pile of potential slabs that probably will never happen. Yeah. Totally get that. All right. Now, where are we at? We got to scroll over a little bit. On the list for the second week in a row, basically opposite list this week compared to last week. Basically the same price. This is the first appearance of all of these Meet the Skrull characters, all these Skrulls, but Gia, Giah, with a little apostrophe in there. And this is based on, there's a rumor going around that this is going to be Emilia Clarke's character. This, I stand by what I said last week. That seems like a really odd choice for an actress that has her just prominence and visibility. If you're going to put her in the MCU, I would think she would have a character that has more potential staying power. 20 to 25, 9.8 for 170. I feel like this is. So here's the deal. If this turns out to be true, 6 months from now, we will just kind of found out about this. So this is probably straight cash because people will be going like, woohoo. I'm not sure exactly when Secret Wars is coming out. So I could be wrong on the timing there. But yeah, if this turns out to be true, if it turns out not to be true, this is a trap. I'm going to lean toward it's a trap. I don't, like, of all the characters they've rumored her to be, you remember how many different rumors we got on Christian Bale? To me, this is the Dario Auger of the Christian Bale rumors. Like, because he was going to be Beta Ray, he was going to be Gore, he was going to be Dario Auger, who's this kind of weird side small villain in the Thor ring. This is the Dario Auger. Here we've heard Jessica Drew, Abigail Brand, Varanki, the Skrull Queen, which if she's Varanki, she could be like another character as well. Like, eventually that Varanki's replaced. This one just seems like a stretch to me. So I would lean toward this as a trap. Hey, Jeffrey, what is going on? Speaking of other people I don't see very often, what is going on, my man, Jeffrey? I bet you can find this in dollar bins for sure. And yeah, and think about the scrolls we've already seen and how much they go for now. Not very much. Like the only way this isn't a trap even longer term is in 6 months is if the timing of when the show is keeps it from being a trap. But once you get away from the show, it'll become a trap. There's just, yeah. Yeah, the Frankie. Frankie seems more likely to me. So they're saying hello. The only scroll is a super scroll. Yeah. Super Scroll is his birthday book. Nice. That's a good birthday book. All right, next. We're almost to the end here, folks. So, spoilers sort of for She-Hulk. We got the spaceship that caused the whole accident that led to Jen becoming She-Hulk. In episode 2, we see it again, this time with Bruce going somewhere in it. So people are all over that this is Planet Hulk. He's going back to Planet Hulk to get his son, or that we're getting Scar. They've been rumoring Scar forever. Here's the thing. Causing raw copy. Last week, raw copies of this were 50 to 75. Now they're 100 plus. 9.8 hit $1,000 for the first appearance of Scar. Come on. $1,000? Do we think he's going to be like a main character going forward? Like, you can now get the Monica Rambeau 9.8 for less than that. You can get Kate Bishop for less than that now. You can get, like, there's a ton of characters that we know are going to play major roles in the MCU going forward that are less than Scar. This is, I'm sorry, at 100 plus, that's a dumpster fire. At $1,000 for 9.8, that's a dumpster fire. I'm sorry. I don't believe in this character is going to be like, no, there is no way that this character is going to be prominent as the character they're going to want to be their, like, a face of the new Avengers going forward and stuff. I just don't believe the hype. Yeah. You can't show me. I mean, I didn't actually click on. We got it. Don't do it. I mean, Scar is clearly one of those. It doesn't matter who this character is. No, it doesn't matter. No, this character does not matter. We all know it's Mephisto. And next, we got more Scar. We got his own series. It's #1. Now, this one's going for $50 on his first solo series. This is the 1 in 10, mind you, of the going for $50. But so, because it's going for a little bit less and it's a 1 in 10, we'll go with it's a trap. But yeah. I'm all about don't believe it. I don't believe it. I'm not buying the Scar hype. Even if he shows up 6 months, nobody's going to care. No one is going to care. Yeah, they just got her in She-Hulk. That was the whole point of bringing her in. But I could be wrong. It won't be the first time I've been wrong, House of L. But I do not believe this is the character they're going to go with. But for like a long-term importance. Kiss. Yeah, I can't see him. I don't know that we're ever getting a Hulk movie, like a Hulk movie, because of all this stuff. Leave a scar on your phone. Oh, you're joking. Okay. Yeah. Scar on your pocketbook. There you go. And the last book. Now, this is a book I actually love. Sensational She-Hulk, #1, issue 1 of the second series. She's going to tear up your X-Men books. Fourth wall break. She-Hulk at her best. John Byrne. You gotta love this book. Having said all that, it's raw copies are up to $30, 9.8, $225, and this is an I'll be back because everything that people buy when a series is coming out is an I'll be back because none of them for any of the Marvel series have held. It's an I'll be back. It'll go back to basically where it's been all along. Yeah. Love the book, love the series. come back to it later. It's standard. All right, so there you guys go. That is my list. Hey, Empire, what is going on? Yeah, just be patient on this one. Imagine She-Hulk fans already have this book. You would think most of them would, for sure. All right, so that is this week's list. Quick reminder to everybody, thank you all. There's 60 people in here at the moment. Quick reminder, in the bio, there's a link to the CBC Awards. Go vote for somebody. I was nominated for one of the categories, the spec category, won the 5,000 or whatever, which I appreciate being nominated. But just go vote for your favorites. There's other people that deserve awards. I don't care if you vote for me. I mean, I'd be honored if you did, but don't feel obligated. But go vote and support the community and get some people awards. It's a cool thing that they've put together to actually award folks. So I think that's really cool. And vote for somebody other than Reggie, because he won like 4 of them last year. Let some other people win. I haven't won, so no, there's no speech. So there you go. Everyone have a great week. Everyone have a great rest of your Sunday. We'll be back tonight for D&D. We got Sandman coming up this week, and then next weekend will be light because I'm not gonna be here. But appreciate you guys hanging out, and we will catch you next time. Later, everybody. Where's my little? Oh, it's down here.